This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, hello all, welcome back. We are working on Jenkins, right? So today we are going to discuss about Jenkins master slave mode. Fine. So everyone able to see my screen? Can you confirm anyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is our Jenkins master server. This is Jenkins master, which is Ubuntu server, right? We are using for Jenkins master. So now what we will do, we'll take another mission, which is slave server, slave mission. Okay. So different flavor you can take. So this is Ubuntu. Basically, we have two flavors, two families, right? In Linux. So this server, slave server, we can take another flavor, another family, which is Jenkins slave or node. So this we can take CentOS. So two different families we can take for this master and slave model. So normally, what are the flavors available in Ubuntu? This Debian family. So we have two families, right? Debian and Red Hat. So what are the flavors available? Debian,
Fedora, PRML.
yeah, Ubuntu, Fedora, okay, GRML, and AV Linux. So these are the flavors available. And the Red Hat family, we have different flavors, which are, what are the flavors in Red Hat?
Red Hat CentOS.
Linux, Red Hat, RHEL, Amazon Linux.
Yeah, RHCL, Red Hat Enterprise Linux, and the CentOS, SUSE Linux, right? So these are the flavors available. So now what we are doing, so we are taking two different families, two different flavors, right? So we can create this instance as a slave server and we can integrate with Jenkins master. So here we can build a job, run the job, create job and trigger from master. The job will run on slave server. Here the job will build, right? So that we are going to perform today. And steps to follow, how to build this. So we have some steps.
Sir, I have to. Sir, build job is the manual process or automatic process?
So we don't do any manual process in our Jenkins or in our DevOps tools. We don't do any manual way. So everything will be automatic. Even the job also will schedule. So how to schedule the jobs, I'll show you. Okay.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Just a minute. Steps to follow. We have some steps here. First one is create a slave server, CentOS server. CentOS server. Second step here is create user in the slave server. Slave server. After that, third step here is modify SSHD config file. Config file. And the fourth one is once we modify config file, restart service. Okay, so service SSHD restart. Fifth step here is give root permissions to user. So these are the steps we need to follow. So first we can create one CentOS server. After that we can create one user. Okay, username, user, and we can assign password. After that we can modify config file, SSHD config file. Okay, so once we modify this, after that we can restart the service. Okay, so then we can give root permissions to user. So these are the steps we are going to perform now. Yeah, let us go and start the Jenkins server first, then we can create new server. We can start master, Jenkins master, start instance, then we can go ahead and create new server, launch instance. Okay, so we required CentOS, right? So here in this predefined images, there is no CentOS. Where we get that?
Research.
Sorry? Where?
AWS Marketplace.
Market space.
Market space, exactly. So these are the predefined images, 44 images available. In this, there is no CentOS. If you are unable to find here, you need to go to Marketplace, AWS Marketplace, and you can search here, CentOS. Right? These are the CentOS clouds. CentOS 7. You can take, this is the stable version. CentOS 7 is stable version. You can take this, select, continue, configure instance, add storage, add tags, tag name, slave 1. So basically, why we are creating this server, slave server? Normally in real time, so when we configure, when we set up this master slave model, we always run the jobs on slave servers only. we don't run jobs on master because master will maintain slave servers. So in our project, we have 20 more servers, 20 plus servers available for slave missions to run the jobs, different schedules, different jobs we run, right? So we should not run the jobs on master servers in real time. Take public IP. Centers. Right. Now, first step here is we created server. So next we need to add one user here. Okay. So what are the command to add user? Sudo add user.
Sudo config.
Okay, sudo add user. I'm giving username Rama and sudo password for Rama user. Okay, new password. Then password is updated successfully. Right. Next one is we need to go to config file. Okay, vi sudo vi /etc/sshd underscore config. This is the config file. Always we check this file. So if you want to modify anything, even Ansible also, in Ansible also we check this file, and like Terraform, we require this file. Kubernetes also we check this file, right? Most of the time we modify some configurations inside of this file. Okay. Go down here. Here password authentication by default it would be no. So we need to modify into yes. Password authentication. See here. By default it is no. So we need to enable this. Escape, save and quit. Right. Once we modify this config file, so after that we need to restart the service. Sudo service sshd restart. Okay, the service is restarted. Fine. Next one is, so once we restart the service, give root permissions to user. So whatever user we created, for that user we need to provide full permissions. Sudo vi/etc/sudoers.
So what is the purpose of modifying the config file?
Yeah, explain that. So for example, so we created one user, right? So that user we have modified this config file. Means normally when we are connecting EC2 instance, we are not giving any password, right? So only default user we are entering. But here Jenkins, if you want to integrate this server to Jenkins master, we require one user. For that, that user need to, that user should have one password enabled. So normally, default user, when we log in into our EC2 instance, we are not giving any password, right? So when you enable this, what will happen? It will ask password. Okay, so when we are enabling this, it will ask you password. So that password is required to integrate with Jenkins master. That is why we have enabled.
Okay, so is only the password should be enabled, or else anything apart from that also should be enabled in real time?
Yeah, only password. Only password authentication should be yes. Yeah. Next one is this is sudoers file. So here, whatever user we created, that user we need to add into this, and we need to provide full permissions to perform activities. Okay, so normally on slave mission we run the jobs, right? Fine. So to say to modify to add into user YY and paste insert mode, remove this, give username, escape, save and quit, right? So normally whatever permissions are there for root, those permissions we can apply to user, right? Okay. Save and quit here. So when we are saving this file, sudoers file, so we need to save forcefully, otherwise it will not allow. Okay. Shift colon WQ and escalatory mark, then it will be saved. So one more time you can start the service, right? Done. We performed all the steps, right? Next one is once we configure the server, once we add the user. So next step here is we need to integrate with Jenkins master. The slave mission we need to integrate with Jenkins. Okay. So prior to that, first we need to install Java on slave server. Okay, because master server also we install Java, right? Slave also required Java. So without Java, Jenkins will not work. Even Jenkins slave or Jenkins master. So Java is needed here. Okay. Fine. Now we can install Java. Sudo. What is the command to install here? This is CentOS, right?
Yum.
Yum. Correct. Yum install.
OpenJDK.
OpenJDK -8 star. Zip command, it is not installed basically. No package is available. Okay. There is a command, so that command we can search and we can use how to install CentOS and Fedora. So here we have DigitalOcean commands. You can take that command, simple command. This is DigitalOcean. Yeah, DigitalOcean. Yeah. So how to install Java on CentOS. So this is the command, simple command. You can take this. Search here like install Java on CentOS 7. Okay. So this is the command. Just copy this and you can execute here. Done. Java is installed. And also we need to install here, we need to install Git also. Git also required, because so in Jenkins master, normally when we are running the jobs, okay, so inside of the Jenkins master we have given executable path, right? So the same way here we are not installing Jenkins. In this slave mission, we are not installing any Jenkins, right? So we are using for just for job trigger, we are using just for job running the jobs, we are using this slave mission. We are not installing anything here, right? We are not installing Jenkins. So here we required Git, because we don't have Jenkins to configure executable path. That is why. So we need to install Git also along with Java. We can install Git here. Sudo yum install Git. Right, so done. Next one is, now we can integrate with master. This server, slave server, we can integrate with master. Fine. So here we can ping this, ping google.com to avoid session timeout. Now we can connect this master server into browser. We can connect in browser. Take the public IP. Next, integrations. Okay, go to manage Jenkins. To integrate slave servers, go to manage Jenkins. So here we have manage nodes and clouds. Click on this new node. So here we have master server, which is in running state. Okay, which is currently it is running in sync. Okay, see here in sync. Okay, next one we need to add node server. Click on node, new node. So server name slave 1. So this is permanent agent for your Jenkins master. Okay, select this. Okay, right. Next one is description. Description, whatever description we have, the same way, same name we can give here. So number of executors. See here, how many executors it is showing? Only one executor. So when we discuss about master, number of executors, how many executors are there in master?
2.
Two executors. Yeah. By default, 2 jobs we can run on master. On slave mission, by default, we can run only 1 job. If the job is small job, 5 minutes, 10 minute job, we can run 2 jobs also. But by default, it will show you only 1 executor in slave mission. Right? Next one. Remote root directory. So we need to give some path here. So when we execute any script, okay, that will be saved in this path. Okay, /home /Rama, some name I'm giving here. Okay, so these integrations are very important in real time. So we'll get chance to configure this node servers. Okay, next one is label. Labels are very, very important here. Okay, so labels means where you want to run the job. Okay, so slave 1, I'm giving slave 1. Next one is use this node as much as possible. You can select this default one. Next one is launch method. So click on this. So we have 3 options: launch agent by connecting to the master, launch agent via execution of command on the controller, launch agents via SSH. So through SSH only we connect, right? So select this SSH. Next one is host. Host IP address we need to provide. So host IP means node server IP. This is our slave node, both are same. Okay, copy this public IP, paste here. So next one is credentials. So credentials are like user credentials. So we created some credentials, right, in slave server. That credentials we need to add here. So for integrations, that credentials are required. Okay. Click on add Jenkins. So here you can give credentials. Username we give a Rama, right? Password Jenkins logins, something you can do. Add this, click on add. So that credentials are added here. So now you can select. These are the credentials, right? That's taken. Next one is host key verification. So known host file verification strategy. I don't want to give this. If you give this, what will happen? It will verify every time. So when we trigger the job, it will go and verify again and again. So I don't want to verify because before giving to Jenkins, it will be verified. So that is why I'm giving non-verifying strategy, non-verifying verification strategy, right? So availability. Next one is availability. Keep this agent online as much as possible. So default one, you can keep this. Okay, these options are very important while integrating. You can check it out. See here, name, your slave server name. Description is not mandatory. If you want to give, you can give. Number of executors by default 1. Okay, root home directory. So we can give some home directory to save our build code, whatever code you want to pick. That code will be saved here. Okay, labels you can give label here. And usage, use this node as much as possible. And launch method, SSH, host IP, credentials, non-verifying strategy, availability. That's it. Click on save here. Yeah. So our slave is created here, right? But it is showing red mark, means it is not ready. So we just added slave, but it is not in sync state. Okay. So now we need to online. We need to move to online. So to move online, what we will do, click on this slave mission, slave one. Yeah, slave one is project tied to slave one. Now if you check here nodes, there is no red mark. So in sync means it is online. It is in active state, right? Fine. Now what we will do, so our agent is integrated with master. Slave server is integrated with master, right? Now we can run the jobs on slave mission. Whatever jobs you want to run, you can run. Okay, like this, how many slaves you have, you can add. So in our project, 20 plus slave missions are there. So one by one, we added like this. Okay, whenever we want to run any jobs, as per the schedules, we configure that. So according to that, it will run on slave servers. Okay, fine. Now I want to run some jobs on slave server. Go to dashboard. Okay, so here we have job 1, job 2, job 3, job 4, right? So these are the yesterday we discussed dependent jobs, right? So these jobs we can run on master and slave. The difference we can check. So I will run on, see here, now it is showing master and slave. Earlier only master. Master is having 2 executors. Slave is having only 1 executor, right? Now I want to run the jobs on master and slave server, right? To run the jobs here, first we need to configure something here. For example, go to job configure. I want to run job 1 on slave server. Yeah. Slave server I want to run, for which, yeah, first tab general. So here one option is there, restrict where this project can be run. This is the option, restrict where this project can be run. So label expression we need to provide here. Once we provide that, the job will be run on that particular server. Okay, slave 1. I want to run this job 1 on slave 1. Apply, save. Next one, job 2. Job 2, I want to run this job 2 on master. Okay. So I want to show you difference. Normally in real time, we should not run the jobs on master server. I want to show you some difference here. Next, third job, go to job configure. Third job I want to run on slave 1. Fourth job I want to run on master. So like this, for example, you have 20 slave servers. So you need to provide the label expression here. Okay, where you want to run the job. You want to run the job on 10th server. Okay, slave 1, slave 2, slave 3, like that. We can give names and we can give slave 10. Right? How many slaves you have? Where you want to run the job? Okay, you can specify this label expression here. Right? So we have configured 4 jobs on. First job will run on slave 1, second job will run on master, third job will run on slave, and fourth job will run on master. So why I configure like this? You can check the difference here. When we trigger the job, it will show you some difference. Okay. Right. Now what we will do, if I trigger job 1, so these are the pipeline jobs, right? All the jobs will run one by one. No need to run manually. So I trigger this job, build now. So it will run on slave server. See here where it is running. Yeah, job 1 completed. Next job 2 will start. Job 2 is running on master server. Job 3 started. So for example, if you configure 10 slave servers, that slave servers will show you here one by one. Slave 1, slave 2, slave 3, like that. So when you trigger the jobs, it will run on slave 1, slave 2, whatever label expression you give. According to that, it will run. Fourth job will run on master. Fine. So 4 jobs completed here. So like this, we can configure jobs on slave servers. Normally in real time, we should not run the jobs on master. So for testing, I have configured like this: master, slave, jobs, right? So job 1 run on slave, slave 1, job 2 run on master, job 3 run on slave, again job 4 run on master, right? Any questions up to here, anyone? Is it clear to you? Yeah. So here, while integrating, so we need to create one user, right? So there, so you need to be very careful. So sometimes, yeah, in my previous batches, so many people got issues. Okay. So when we create user, for that user, we need to provide proper, yeah, we need to give password, and after that, we need to provide full permissions. Okay. So integration part is, while working on integrations, we need to be very careful. Okay. If you made small mistake, okay, it will not configure, it will not integrate with master. So that is why, so you need to double check and you need to integrate with master. Fine. So still we have one concept, which is, yeah, not one concept. We have two concepts. Okay. One is user management, Jenkins user management. So another one is Jenkins file, Groovy script. So Groovy, that we'll discuss Monday. So it's very simple. When I talk about script, don't think like it would be like 10 lines, 20 lines, not like that. Okay. So Groovy script, which is Jenkins file, which is very, very important. It's very easier. So tomorrow we will work on user management, Jenkins users. Okay, how to create users, how to restrict users, how to provide permissions to users. Monday we'll work on Groovy script. So one more time I run these jobs quickly.
I have a couple of questions over here. So
Yeah.
first thing, you have created the password register. So when it will ask, just while logging into the server, it will ask the password, or else while running these jobs also it will ask?
For integration, required username password. So if you want to integrate with Jenkins master, the slave server, we require one user. For that user, password should be enabled and give full
Okay.
permissions. If you don't give permissions, it will not. You cannot run jobs. So full permissions we provide to that user. Then only can run the job on slave machine.
And okay, for the job 2, there is an red symbol, right? Does it mean that it didn't run successfully?
Yesterday it was failed, right? This is yesterday's one. I'll show you. See here. Yesterday we ran, right? One time we changed goals, and
But today also, but today also it is configured, right? Then it should show the correct symbol again.
Yesterday we modified, right? Again we modified into proper way. So that is why it is success.
Yeah, yeah, I've ran today also. It's that job too.
Hmm.
So at that time it ran successfully, right? Then why it is still
Successfully.
showing the red?
Ah,
Then why it is
yeah,
still showing the red symbol?
yeah. So some logs will be there, right, internally. That is why it is showing like this. Yeah, now it is gone, right? See here. Some
Yeah.
logs will be
Okay.
there that will be updated. So after some time it will update. So big previous job only it is showing status. When I open new job, now it is updated.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Right? So one more time we can run this
What
pipeline job
about
on.
build environment and
Sorry, can you come again? What about
the build environment and post build actions?
post build actions
Hello.
and build environment? Okay. Yeah. Basically,
I mean,
where you find that in the job configure.
yeah, in the job configure.
Where it is build actions. Okay. Build actions and okay. Right. So normally why we require this post build actions, build action, post build action. Okay. So while working on Terraform, we'll add something here. Whatever plugin you install, that will be available here. So that we need to configure. See here. So in this, all the plugins will be available. For example, while working on some projects, okay, if you want to integrate Docker server to Jenkins, okay, so we need to install one plugin, publish over SSH. That is the plugin for Docker integration. Okay. So whenever we install that plugin will be available here. So we need to go to the plugin. So we need to open the plugin and we need to provide all the configurations here. Inside of this post build actions, so all the configurations will be there. So I'll show you while working on Docker. Docker we will integrate with Jenkins in project session. So by the time I'll show you. So add build step means normally, so here also we have some steps. Invoke top level Maven targets, okay, run with output or timeout. Okay. So different things are there. Execute Windows batch command. If you want to execute some Windows batch commands, you can use this. Execute shell. Okay, invoke and so according to your project requirements, you can use this. So currently we are using this one, invoke top level Maven targets. So when we are working on Groovy script, we use other one. Okay, I'll show you that. So Monday we'll work on Groovy. So by the time we use other one. Fine. So one more time we can run these jobs and we can, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, similarly, there is the other options like build environment, right? Can you explain what is that build environment?
Yeah. When we get that, when we work on that, definitely I'll show you. Okay, don't worry, don't take tension. Okay, we'll
Yeah,
cover all
okay.
these things. So here, build environment, also we have some options. Okay, so when we working on this, I'll show you. Okay, so here build triggers. Okay, POLSM is there. POLSM is schedule. Here we schedule. Okay, while working on this, I'll explain. Don't worry. These are the general. So POLSM means normally schedules. Here we schedule the jobs. The schedules when we get this when we give the schedules normally, for example, early morning 5 a.m. I want to run some jobs. By the time I schedule this, so for that schedules we have one site which is crontab Guru. Okay, so this is crontab Guru. So in this all the schedules are available. So even we also use the schedules. Examples, these are the example. Every minute, if you want to run any job, every minute, this is the script, this is the schedule. So copy this and you can give in the PolSCM. Here, what will happen? Every minute it will run the job. The job will run every minute. But whenever changes happen, by the time only it will run. Okay, and also if you want to run every 2 minutes, so every 2 minutes, click on this. So here first star is minutes, second star is hour, third star is day, fourth star is month, fifth star is day of week. So every 2 minutes means first star is minute, right? So minute by this star by 2 means every 2 minutes, like, right? So here like this we can configure. And also every day, daily or every day, click on this. Every day means 0 hours. 00 means 0 minute, 0 hours means midnight, 12 o'clock. The job will trigger. Every day means first minute of the day, first hour of the day. 00 star 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 means midnight, 12 o'clock exactly it will start. Like this, so many schedules are there. So we use this site normally for scheduling jobs. Crontab Guru. Okay, here we have all the schedules. So trigger one more time and we can. Yeah, it's running. Yeah, tomorrow the session is very important. User management. When any new user join into the project, how to add that user into Jenkins. Okay. So how to provide the permissions? What are the roles? How can we provide that roles? What are the roles we are going to provide? Okay. So that will cover tomorrow. And how to restrict that user. Okay. Role-based activities. Different things are there. And Monday also important. Groovy script. Jenkins file. Most of the interviews they ask Groovy only. Jenkins file. Jenkins file means Groovy. Okay.
Sir, I have another doubt.
Mhm.
How to uninstall a package and reinstall in a server? I mean, yesterday I had an issue, right? You told me that's a problem with the Java installations.
Yeah, yeah.
Perhaps I might have. So how to uninstall that package and reinstall in the same server?
Which package you want to uninstall? Java?
Anything, so maybe Java. Yeah, maybe in yesterday cases it's Java. In such cases, if we want to uninstall the packages that we already installed and we want to reinstall that package,
Yeah, you can search Google. No?
or while how to deal with it command.
I provided some comments, right? So in that we have command to uninstall the package. So normally in Jenkins, if you want to uninstall any plugins, go to plugins menu. But packages, if you want to uninstall the packages, we have some commands. You can search like this. Uninstall Java, Ubuntu. So there will be commands here, right? DigitalOcean also there. How to completely uninstall Java. Some comments are there. See here. Some comments. Remove manually, install JVM. Okay. So Java. You can try like this because in real time you need to R&D like this. You need to start like this. In our test labs also, if you understand, if you know how to search, so it would be very helpful in real time. So whatever issue you faced, so Google is the best friend. Okay, you can search in Google. You will get all the information. right? Yesterday you asked me, right? So before that, you need to try in Google, because within one single step I can explain. But if you try your own, you will remember that, right? So many people are doing so many mistakes. I can explain within 1 minute only. But if you do your own, you will not forget, right? You can try.
Yeah, yes, sir.
If you are unable to uninstall, I'll help you. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, yeah, I'm doing that actually.
Yeah. Fine. So we stop here for today. So tomorrow we'll work on Jenkins user management. Okay. Monday also we have Jenkins session, so we can complete by Monday. So Jenkins will not complete until end of the DevOps, because we'll integrate all the tools with Jenkins, right? Yeah. We stop here for today. Thank you all.